I'm here. Anyone asking about me? Kandi. Yay. No. Oh, Lord. Let me tell y'all something. Last night's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta was interesting, to say the least. Okay. It was one of those episodes that I kind of felt like was a transitional episode. It was kind of in between, kind of mid, as the kids would say. I mean, I don't know. It felt like to me, this was one of those, like, it was a step, okay? It was a step up into another room because I don't know. It just didn't give what I felt like it needed to give, but I wasn't mad at it per se, okay? We're gonna rate this episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 14, episode 10. Guess who's coming to the Blue Ridge, to the woods? Okay. It will be Kenya, and she will be coming late. All right, so just to let you know. Now, if you are in the chatterization, thank you so much for tuning in and joining the Ponderosa today. Let us know where you guys are watching from. I see Jersey City's in the building, New Jersey, stay in the building. I see we got Los Angeles. Hey, California cutie. Connecticut's in the building. Who else is in here? Pennsylvania, DMV. Yes, Philly, Florida, Cincinnati, Ohio. A lot of DC in the building. B-More's in the building. I see you over here. Come on now. Little Rock, Arkansas, DMV. Hey, y'all. Cleveland, Ohio, Mobile, Alabama. Come on, Bama. Houston, Texas. Rochester, New York. B-More as usual. Richmond, VA, baby. Bermuda, Alpharetta, Georgia. DMV, San Antonio. I see you. Prince George's County, Maryland, baby. New York. We got Canada in the building. Silden in the building. Jacksonville, North Dakota, Alabama, Trinidad and Tobago, Maryland. I see you. Brooklyn, New York, ATL, baby. Kansas City, Arizona, Bowie. I see you down the street. Chicago, Detroit, the D. Virgin Islands. I see y'all. Orlando, Be More Forever, baby. Smithville, Alabama, Nashville. Come on. Thank you guys for stepping into the room this morning. Okay, so we can talk about this episode of the Real Housewives of the Atlanta. Okay, where the ladies heading to the Blue Ridge, to the mountains. Okay. Now, as we typically do on this channel, when we're rating an episode, we're gonna rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. And for me, I'm gonna give this episode an 8. Okay. I'm gonna give it an 8 because I just kind of feel like, again, it was a transition episode. Some of the scenes, I felt like the camera was lingering too long on some things. Thank you for the birthday wishes as well. I don't know. It just felt like this was a trip that was mostly about traveling to the Blue Ridge Mountains. And not that every episode has to be action packed per se, but it just felt to me like, I don't know. Now, the reason I'm not going to rate it lower than that is because it did kind of feel like an old school episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, or a housewives show where not really much happened. And I also don't have to give, I don't want to, the Kenya and Marlo of it all is a little boring to me at this point, because obviously we know the two of them are just not going to get along. Now, I did enjoy Marlo's Maya Angelou style speech that she gave towards the end, but we'll get back to that in just 1 second. Okay, we'll get there when we get to that part of the episode. I see y'all about the same. We about the same spots, y'all. It was a mid-tempo. You know what I'm saying? It was like one of those songs on the album, on a Beyonce album, that's in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't Crazy in Love. It ain't Formation. It ain't Dangerously in Love. It ain't, Halo. It's just in the middle. Somewhere in the middle of the album. That's what this episode was to me. Okay. Don't worry about it. See, Logan, we gonna tell you all about it. Okay. Now, anyway, first things first, we see Kenya and Brooklyn heading to the Boomerang. It looks like some type of bouncy play park or whatever, with Kandi and Blaze. And so they're doing a little play date. Now, can somebody in the Atlanta, Georgia area riddle me this? Let me ask y'all a question. Is Tags still open? For those of you guys who don't know, that was Kandi's boutique store. I don't know which mall it was in. You can let us know in the chatterization if you are from the Atlanta area or if you know just a little bit about it. But the reason I'm asking is because the jacket that she had on last night had the Tags logo on it. So I was just wondering if that store was still open. Okay. Let me know. Um, okay. Marley Talk says, yes, it is. I never see her really talking about it. It was like 6 inch on lemonade. Thank you. Yes, it was. That's what this episode. It was 6 inch heels. You know, mid tempo, not necessarily stand out, but it was okay. You know what I'm saying? Um, okay, so a lot of y'all saying that it's open, not at the location off Petrie. I think they moved it. Okay. I was just curious, okay, because I had not heard or seen her talk about the tags in a minute, but I saw that on the logo and I was like, I wonder if it's still open. You know, if it's like pressed, you know, Rashida's store. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, thank you for the birthday wishes, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Okay, so meanwhile, they recaps drunk Kenya, who we all seem to agree that we all love. Okay. Oh, Marley says she posted about it in her Insta stories. My bad. I mean, I like that song. Okay, so I'll have to keep an eye out on the Instagram stories, but I just never hear her talk about it, like, you know, on because Candy got so much going on. She got 2 YouTube channels. She got the all the social media stuff. She's on every single show on every network. So it just be hard to keep up. You know what I'm saying? So I was just curious about it. You know, if it was still open like pressed. Okay. So anyway, y'all know how I feel about that press logo. Meanwhile, so Kenya has been having some issues with keeping her hairline afloat, as she talked about before. She's having some shipping issues, as many of us experience. I didn't experience shipping issues with my supplements. I experienced a manufacturing issue, but it was being manufactured here in the States. So that was a whole nother situation. So I know the feeling of frustration that Kenya probably feels about this. And they only show her in flashbacks talking about this during the episode. And in my mind, I'm like, can we get more of that? Because that's a huge thing for Kenya. And at the end of the season, we know that we're going to see her in CBS. So to me, I feel like they should investigate this more because otherwise we don't really get a lot of what Kenya has going on because they are definitely not chronicling that divorce that she is going through, even though it don't seem like it was much happening. But at the end of the day, I felt like give us more of Kenya Moore, of what she's going through with her business. I want to see that process. I want to see the struggle. I want to see what it's like. You know what I'm saying? We spent an inordinate amount of time on Drop It with Drew, and none of us really still knew what it was. Okay. At least we know what Kenya Moore hair care is. We can see the bottle. Okay. Meanwhile, Kandi suggests that she hire a team because that's really the only way you can grow. You know what I'm saying? As you decide that you want to scale your business. Okay. So we learned that Kenya has hired a COO and she's going to do manufacturing here in the United States of the Americas. And that's going to make things a lot easier. So she ain't got to wait for those, long delays in the shippings and things like that. Okay. Um, Kandi tells her, girl, when we go to the Blue Ridge, don't let Marlo ruin your good time. Kandi might as well have been talking to herself, okay? Then Kandi reveals to everybody who will listen. Kandi told everybody. Meanwhile, Kandi tells Kenya that Marlo told the boys to get the F out of her house. And it bothered Kandi because, she had taken in her cousin Melvin, okay? And Kenya says and agrees with Kandi that Marlo is only adding to those boys' trauma, okay? But more on that in a minute, okay? More on that in a minute. Speaking of business, Sheree is on the line. She's on the Skype, the Zoom, the something with her designer talking about these joggers. Ooh, it's so much I want to say, but I don't want to be judgmental, okay? because I feel like I could be judgmental about this situation, but I'm thinking to myself, as she's talking about these designs for these joggers, I'm like, girl, why is this taking you so long? Okay, why is it taking you so long? What is the holdup? Okay, if all it is some joggers, I could have told you where to go online to get them. Okay, but she wants the joggers to fit the small waist. Okay, the itty bitty waist and the big booties for all the people with the BBLs. Okay, because BBLs matter too, right? So we got to make sure that we get the joggers with the cinched waist, the waist like this, okay? The waist be like this, and the BBL in the back, okay? And then what I do not like with a BBL, and I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole, and y'all, I'm sure are gonna be mad at me for saying this. I don't mind if you get a BBL. I say go get 2 of them. Get 3 BBL, however many BBLs you want. Just make sure the thigh match the BBL. Okay. It is my pet peeve when I see the BBL and the thigh is this little. Okay. Get them to add you some thigh meat whilst you getting your BBL. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. But guess what? If you got on some joggers, we won't even know, okay? Unless they the tight ones. You know what I'm saying? The lycra, okay? The spandex, okay? The stirrups, if you will, whatever, you know. Uh, you know, them legs, hips, and body, okay? I just want it all to match. That's it, okay? Don't forget the thighs. BBLs matter, but thighs matter too. Okay. Meanwhile, we learned that Sonya got several trips on the books. She's gonna be late to the Blue Ridge Mountains because she got to go down to the Miami for the outfits for her and what's her man name? Rossi, as she like to say, Rossi. And so they doing something together. So she said, I gotta make my coin. I will see you chicks later. Okay. What we will learn later is that the outfits, okay, perfect branding opportunity for outfits says we're gonna take you and your all your girlfriends and your husband and your girlfriends men down to the Jamaica, okay, for the next outfits event slash money making machines, okay. Marlo is packing with her team and Kandi is packing, but Kandi needs to call Marlo and let her know Kenya is not coming to the Blue Ridge. Now, I hate this type of storyline. You know why I hate it? Because we know that Kenya is going to show up in the Blue Ridge. Now, she might have to show up by railway. She might have to show up by trailway. But she's going to get there, okay, however she can. Because she is not going to miss that paycheck for these episodes. I know that much. Because Kandi already told us Kenya don't do nothing without a check, okay? So I was like, I don't know why we playing this game, but let's play, okay? Let's play along. So Kenya calls to Marlo. Do, 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 do. Hey, girl, what you doing? Well, you know, I didn't sit Marlo on the other end of the line. Girl, I didn't sent them kids away. So it's time to play, okay? Unpacking. Kandi. Well, I'm just letting you know that Kenya not coming on the trip. Marlo. Well, I think we'll survive. Okay, bye, girl. End of story. Okay. Now, again, in my mind, we already know she coming. I'm sure Marlo knows she coming. Kandi knows she coming because they got the same makeup people. Okay. And Kandi, you know what? You listen, what you can't, you can make if people want to complain about Kandi, one of the things that they can't complain about is the woman is real. Whether or not Kenya was trying to have some dramatics and make a dramatic entrance, it really don't matter because keep it real, Kandi, keeping it real with Nene, is keeping it real with Kandi is gonna keep it too real and tell all your business. So whether or not Kenya thought she was, going to make some dramaticals, Kandi had already told us, girl, well, I knew you was coming because your makeup people told me. And then Kandi told us, just like she told everybody that Marlo kicked them kids out. Okay. Meanwhile, Marlo is cleaning out the boys' room and she go through all the mess and the chaos and confusion of the room. And her sister stops by, okay, because Marlo needs her to see what Crystal is getting herself into with the boys, okay? And I felt like, oh, Marlo, you just gonna rub it in the girl face that you got the kids over there now, and this is what she got to look forward to. But the sister Crystal is a mama bear, okay? Miss Crystal is a mama bear, so she understands. She got 4 kids already. And in my mind, I was thinking to myself, 4 kids, four kids, and you adding 2 more? Girl, no. No, 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 no. What Marlo needed to do was hire a very strict nanny, okay? A very strict nanny, okay? If you just head right down the street, Anila's nanny is leaving her, but we'll talk about that in the Married to Medicine review, okay? So she could have swooped in and yanked her from the plane from going to Houston. But anyway, I digress. She sent the kids over to Crystal's house to add more to the Brady Bunch, okay? So now Crystal got a house full of kids. The woman is working, okay? She got so much going. I felt for Crystal, but you could tell Crystal love her some Marlo, okay? Crystal love her some Marlo, and she will do whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what a good sister gonna do, okay? And I'm not mad at that because that's what family is for. So I'm not mad at that. And it is nice that we're seeing more of Marlo's family and stuff like that, and getting to know her through the eyes and through the lens of her family. Marlo asked Crystal if she's bad for feeling like she needs a break. And Crystal feels like, well, I don't think it's bad that you need a break, but them boys don't need to hear you talking about you don't want them around and whatnot, okay? Because they have feelings too. And Marlo says she gets it from her mama. So I think this is kind of informing us about the psychology of Marlo, why she thinks the way she does, and why she goes as low as she may go sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, it's the day of the trip. Sheree arrives. She got the boot on because when I first saw the boot, I thought it was Drew because, Drew ends up in a boot all the time. And, God bless her, okay? But, I thought it was going to be Drew. But no, it's Sheree. Sheree then slammed her pinky toe, okay? Harlem Night style, as she was trying to shove her foot into a rain boot. I was like, girl, how hard was you trying to get your size 9 into the rain boot? Okay. You must have been pushing and a shoving to have broken the toe. Okay. I hope you didn't buy them. Anyway, Marlo and Sheree are riding in the Rolls Royce. And Marlo has food for the trip, as she should. Now, what we learn is the girls are all traveling separately. So Kenya would not have had to ride along in a Sprinter with Marlo for 2 hours, even if she, you know what I'm saying? Even if she was thinking about going with the girls. But Kandi, Monyetta, and Drew link up, and Marlo has some OLG wings delivered for Kandi and the girls. Now, when their Aston Martin arrives to take them to the Blue Ridge, they ready to dine on the wings in the car, in the bike, and the driver's like, you can't eat in here, okay? So they're like, what? And Kandi's like, listen, if I can't eat, I don't want to ride in it, okay? So we're going to go back in the house. So they're going to eat for about 2 hours, all right? But meanwhile, Sheree and Marlo are chowing down on whatever they eating. I can't tell if it's tacos, nachos, whatever it is. But they, and I'm thinking to myself, now Marlo, what gives here? Okay, what gives? That don't make no sense to me. But anyway, they wonder on the way down why Marlo can't get along with Kenya. An hour later, Monyetta, Drew, and Kandi, they still eating, and then we're off again. Okay. Marlo FaceTimes Kandi, who jokes that, Kenya's in the car with them. And that's a lie because that ain't happening. And Kandi thinks that Kenya is coming and just wants to make an entrance. Kandi asks if Fatum is coming. And then suddenly the phone is staticky and we can't hear nothing they're saying. Okay. Which lets us know that, yes, Fatum is coming. Okay. So Kandi on the way down reveals that Marlo kicked them boys out. Okay, I told you, Kandi. Kandi cares. Um, so Kandi tells the girls that Marlo kicked the boys out, and Monyetta and Drew are kind of. It seems like they're on the fence about the situation, and they really just want the best for Marlo, and they hope that this will allow Marlo to open up more during the weekend. But Kandi ain't too sure. So nearly 2 hours later, Sheree and Marlo arrives at the mansion. Okay, it ain't no cabin; it's definitely the mansion. And they have a concierge. The house looks amazing. It's a workout room, really nice bedrooms and whatnot. Kandi, Drew, and the Monyetta arrive next. And I love that Marlo doesn't want any rules. She don't want no schedule. She's just providing fabulosity. Sonya's gonna arrive later. And then they do a game to choose the rooms. This game is a game where you have to determine who Marlo is talking about by the name of the scent of the candle. Okay. Now, I can't remember all the names, but I'm just going to tell you what the candles were named and who it was for. Okay. Now, I'm not getting all the name right, but it's the basic gist of it. And if you know what the names were, if you remember it, okay, chime in. So there was a delusion candle. It was apparently Kenya's, but Kandi takes it. Then it was a gossip candle, and we knew that was for Kandi. Okay, but she had already taken Kenya's. There was a high hopes and low expectations candle, and that was for Sheree. Okay, and then there was a color coordinated workout gear, and Drew is like, "Oh, that's me," and Marlo says, "That's you." Girl, that's for Sanya. We don't believe in your drop it with Drew. Anyway, there was repeat resolutions and wishful thinkings. That was Drew. Okay. So anyway, the next thing you know, and I actually found that game to be quite entertaining. Okay. And quite creative. So next thing you know, it's time for dinner in about 15 minutes. Okay. The girls ain't got time to even go in the bathroom and shake a tail feather or nothing like that. And so it's time for them to head on out. So much for that non-schedule. Sheree, and then Sheree says anytime these well, she said something crazy about all the ladies taking hoe baths, but it wasn't really worthwhile to talk about. Anyway, they head out in the Sprinter van and they ask Marlo what's happening with the boys. And Marlo is like, yes, I sent them boys away. I am proud of it. And Kandi says, well, how long is it for? Marlo says 30 days. And Candy's wondering, like, now how is that going to work out for your sister in this 2-bedroom apartment? 2 bedrooms, 4 kids, plus 2 more in a 2-bedroom apartment. How is that going to work? How? I feel so bad for Miss Crystal. I really do. Marlo says, well, Crystal's going to move into the 3rd bedroom. What? Did she add on a bedroom to the apartment? How did that work? Did she move into a new apartment just for this? Was that wire transfer that Marlo sent her a deposit for an apartment with 3 bedrooms? How did that work? Okay. Regardless, 3 bedrooms, 4 kids, plus 2 more. So that means likely. Now I'm just trying to put it together. Crystal gonna need a room. 3 kids gonna be in one room, and 3 kids gonna be in another. Okay, that's a real packed house. Okay. Meanwhile, they get to the restaurant. Cheers to the locals. Okay. Marlo wants Kandi to drink, and Kandi's like, I'm not drinking nothing for you. Drew wants to be okay with Sonya, and they all chat about Sonya shading Drew and Ralph about their time that they having so much time on their hands. Um, Kenya then begins texting Kandi. Okay. She wants to know, is anybody there asking about me? I'm here. So Kandi says, yay, but no one's asking about you. Kenya says, come outside and get me. So Kandi has to leave up out of her seat away from her dinner. And she was not excited about that. So finally, she brings Kenya back, and everybody is excited except for Marlo. Baby, Marlo's face was like the Grinch. It was like, no, you know what it was like? She was. Y'all ever seen Lord of the Rings? Oh, hold on. This is how Marlo was looking at Kenya. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Mm-hmm. Hold on. I'm gonna show you exactly how Marlo was looking at Kenya. Hold on for a second, y'all. You just bear with me. It's worth the wait. This is how Marlo was looking at Kenya when she walked in. Okay. Um, like the Gollum. Okay. She was looking at her like the Gollum, like, ugh, the precious, the precious. And sometimes I be feeling like either now I know I don't understand why Marlo is so obsessed with her friendship with Kenya. Friendship or non-friendship, I really don't know. But it was giving me the precious vibes. You know, if you done seen Lord of the Rings, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. The precious, the precious, the precious. Every time Kenya step into the scene, Marlo be looking out the side of her eye like this. The precious. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you know what? If you don't like this woman, why don't you just stay away? Okay. Stay away from her. Okay. But you know, Marlo cannot help herself. She can just not help herself. Okay. She just can't. Um, and now Marlo is not only hurt that Kenya is there and didn't want to be in the car with them or to go with them. She is now mad at Kandi for knowing that Kenya was coming and not saying nothing to her. Okay. So Kenya reveals to the girls, well, you know what? I have my own house, and Brooklyn may or may not be coming. I don't know. Where's Brooklyn? Okay. Because Candy's like, well, why would you stay in your own house? Kenya says it's because Kandi made such an issue last time that, you know, she brought Brooklyn to the house. And we get a flashback of the Bolo house when Brooklyn was staying there with the strippers. Okay. So anyway, apparently Brooklyn was supposed to be coming, but now Kenya don't know whether she's coming or not. And everybody at the table is like, why don't you know what Brooklyn is? Did she fly down here on her own on her own private jet? How did that work? Did she charter a flight? Did she did she hire a limousine? Is she in her own sprinter? What is going on? Why don't you know what a girl is? Anyway, Drew is hoping for good vibes only, okay? But they all know that the good vibes are gonna end as soon as Sanya walks in. And in comes Sanya inviting everyone to the Jamaica man. And so Marlo then tells Kenya, I'm glad you're here, you know. I'm glad you're here. Um, you and baby Brooklyn are welcome to stay at the abode. You know what I'm saying? I just want to make it, you know, I want to make it nice for you. You know what I'm saying? So girl, are you staying or not? All right. And Kenya's like, I don't know if I'm staying. Marlo says, when will you know? Kenya says, when I know. Marlo says, well, if you're not staying at the house, you can't hang out with us. You can't hang out with us. That's like her saying, you can't sit with us. What is this, high school? And second of all, here's the fact of the matter. This is just like with Basketball Wives. We know the house is paid for by production. Okay. So whether or not Kenya wants to hang out, well, Marlo wants her to be there or not, Kenya knows she can be there. She can waltz in and out of that house anytime she wants to because production is going to want her in the scenes. She's going to want to be in the scenes, but she knows exactly what to do to ruffle Marlo's feathers. Okay. Now, in real life, okay, when you purchase the Airbnb, okay, you can say to the extra guest, well, don't come around in. All right. You won't see us. We won't see you. Have a good weekend in Blue Ridge Mountains. Okay. But because this is a trip likely sponsored by production, Kenya knows, and that's why she's like, I'll do as I please. I will come and go as I please. If I want to come in the middle of the night, I will do so. If I want to leave at 5 in the morning, I will do so too. Whenever Brooklyn arrives by helicopter or chariot, okay, I will swoop her in if I want to. I will bring the nanny. I will bring Mark. I will bring a drum line, and you cannot stop me. Okay. So anyway, um, um, so ultimately, Kenya asked the ladies, "Well, what do y'all want?" And they want her to stay at the house. So Kenya is ready to confront the issue with Marlo. Okay, and but before we get there, okay, before we get there, they talking over top of each other. And the girls point out to Marlo, Marlo, you are being a Drew. You are not letting Kenya speak. And Marlo says, well, I'll be quiet. But she better not walk away when I start to speaking, okay? She better not walk away. So I'm going to get into what Kenya had to say. But first, this super chat. Did anyone else think it was weird that Sonya said, all my girlfriends and a plus one? Is her husband the plus one? Hey, everyone. I think it's going to be all the husbands. The husbands that the people that are married, okay, and all the girlfriends, okay. I could be wrong. I don't know. So as Kenya prepares her speech, she makes her case. She doesn't feel like Marlo is sincere. Marlo is not a friend. Marlo doesn't know how to love. Marlo's love is toxic. Kenya is upset about all the times that Marlo has called her a lie, and she is ready to let the friendship go. And Marlo will no longer torture her with her torrid love ever again. Okay? Marlo will not torture her ever again. So, next, it is Marlo's turn. Marlo gives a triumphant Maya Angelou inspired speech about being a Black woman who has, as they say, come from the jail, as they say, come from the prostitution, as they say. She is looking at Kenya Moore as the goddess of all goddesses, the Miss USA of it all, a Black woman supreme with a baby and a brand that is in the Walmart and the CVS, and she is living on top of the world, and Marlo just wants to live in the shadow of the great Kenya Moore, and she would hope that Kenya would let her live in her shadow. But if she's not gonna do that, then she needs to go. Okay, and she needs to go today. She cannot hang out with the girls. She cannot sit with it at the table. She cannot drink their moet. She cannot be in their presence. And that is what Marlo has got to say to Kenya Moore, okay? That is what she has got to say. And baby, let me tell you something. I was inspired. I was on my knees in prayer. I was lifting my hands up and rejoicing because that was a speech by the great Marlo Hampton, okay, right after she sent them boys away. Okay. Whew. The spirit sometimes moves you. When it moves you, you got to run with it. You got to run with it. So the question is Kenya Moore staying in this house or not? And we end the episode. Well, I guess we'll find out next week. So, with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in, tapping in for this review. Hopefully next week we'll find out where baby Brooklyn is, what type of plane she chartered, if she came by bus, railway, or trailway. And with that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video.